Let's begin. I'm going to take you back there. Feel all weight drift away. How are you feeling?
Good, I think.
Do you recall anything from the session? Focus. What is happening?
This was the day Billy was taken.
Them kids. They didn't stay buried. It's as if the earth itself was allowing this horror to rise up.
There's some unsettling similarities to the 100-Acre Massacre.
It's not safe. There have been loads of murders leading to Ashdown.
Tell me everything you saw, please.
I knew that this day would come.
All of Ashdown will burn.
Hey, Marcus, how are you doing? Thanks for joining me today.
Hi, how are you? Yes, lovely to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me.
No problem. Thanks for coming. You play the owl, a beloved figure in the Winnie-the-Pooh universe, but a very drastically different owl than the kiddies might recognize.
Very different. Owl be there. Yes, in actual fact, yes. Now, Owl here is actually wise. Now, when you read the original books, you'll see that Owl pretends he's wise, and he talks about this, that, the other, but it's absolutely rubbish. He talks, which is sort of the fun. It's the joke. In this case, Owl is actually the mastermind. What you've got to really remember is that Pooh is a bear of little brain. That being the case, he needs a mastermind, a visionary, a puppet master, if you like, somebody to do all the thinking. And that is what Owl is in this film. And I'm not going to spoil the story.
Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble with Jagged Edge. Get it taken
No,
out.
no, absolutely. I'm not going to spoil the story in any way. But what we learned from the first film is that Christopher Robin does what humans always do. He says, "I love you," and then betrays and abandons people. And haven't we all been there? And that's what happens here. It's the same situation. Of course, that leaves a pain, a rumbling of anger. And Owl is not a very good-looking chap, I have to say. Yes. Now,
yeah, let's go ahead and bring up Mr. Owl. So not very many images like we were discussing around Owl, so it took me a while to find this one, but just like everything in Pooh Blood and Honey, it is a drastic take, as you can see right there.
There he is. See? Not a handsome chap in any way. That was a prosthetic, a full face prosthetic that I had on there. That's another interesting story. But why does he look like that? He looks like that because it is years and years of struggle and pain. And listen, kids, what happens to you when you have years of struggle and pain? You end up looking like that.
You become a serial killer. There you
Well,
go.
I mean, there's this as well. I mean, yeah, you can call it a serial killer if you like, but I prefer to call it standing up for rights. Standing up
Justice,
for rights.
justice for Owl, justice for Pooh, justice
Well,
for.
I mean, yes. I mean, first of all, it's this business of being, it's the pain and the suffering and the anger that comes from being betrayed. But also, what else do humans do? Well, I'll tell you what they do. They move in to wild animals' territory. They chop down the trees. They start building. How would you feel
They
if
kill the
somebody?
animals.
Yes, yes. And then when the animals fight back, they go, all right, we can't have this. We'll better kill the animals. And remember, you belong to nature. You see, nature, not it to you. And so when this happens, and this is the key thing for Owl. Owl has to explain everything to Pooh because, of course, Pooh is of low intelligence, and a bear of very little brain. And so what Owl does is he says, either we just sit here and die, or we fight back. We take the fight to them. And that is why there's this whole bloodbath going on, because they can't take it anymore. They have been pushed to the edge. You
and
see?
abandoned. Now, so
yes.
Pooh. So for those of you guys, I'm a big Godfather fan. So basically, what Owl is either Don Vito or Michael Corleone, and then Pooh is Luca Brasi, basically.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, I mean, it's quite a good metaphor. I'm not sure it works entirely like that, but all I will say is that Owl is obviously the wise one, the one who does all the thinking and makes all these statements, and but of course, Owl is only a bird, so he does get a little bit of the action, but he is only a bird. So
how long did it take you to get how long were you in the makeup chair to become?
Yeah, now that is a fantastic question. It took about 100 minutes, over an hour and a half. You see, it's very, very thin latex, and what it is it's glued onto your skin, and so it moves with your face as you move. And what happens there is that it glues up. It glues up your nose, so you can't breathe through your nose anymore. Now that's fine for about 2 or 3 hours. When you get to about 4 hours, it gets a little bit uncomfortable. And then, of course, because you have to breathe through your mouth, but then, of course, because it's hot in there, because it's latex, and you can't blow your nose or anything, it all starts filling up with it all starts filling up with sort of sweat and gunge, and then it can get slightly unpleasant, and it does take a bit of getting used to. I've got an entire, you see, you watch Lieutenant Worf, okay, and you think, no, that's great, but what I have got a new appreciation for is now what Michael Dorn had to go through, because it's not pleasant. It's after about hour 10 and hour 11, it gets really quite uncomfortable in there. And because I was trained a method actor, what it is that because it makes you feel a certain way, this is perfect for Owl, isn't it? Because that's what Owl is like. So use it
right there.
It's a gift. It's a gift. And then so you use it to bring that frustration and an annoyance out in Owl. And so because what it is it's bringing the truth of reality into the work.
Now this is your second go around with Pooh. So you played a character in the original, correct?
That's right, Colt. Now that was a redneck, and Pooh comes. I know it's a weird one, and not just any old redneck either, but a champagne drinking redneck. And
only kind.
Yes. It was important that he had a champagne bottle, of course, because champagne bottles are more cinematic to smash over people's heads, as opposed to a
small beer bottle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And yes, so I came to a very sticky end in the first film, but of course in this one, of course, I've got a full face prosthetic, as you can see from the picture, and so and of course an entirely different voice.
Now,
Yes.
did you do your own voice, or did they do altering? And how'd that
Oh
go?
yes, I did my own voice. Yes, absolutely. It's entirely different. You're going to have to wait and see what that's about.
I can't wait. I can't wait for this movie to come out. I'm going to tell you my history of Pooh Blood and Honey, and like I said, the director and the producer will attest to, like, and I told Eddie, I pretty much, when I heard this movie was coming out, I started petitioning for interviews and stalking them, and finally it was either get a restraining order for this poor fool in America or make some people available to them, and they finally did. So I've been a fan since before, just the concept. I'm a fan of the concept of what they were doing. So I couldn't wait to see some of these characters. And like I said, without spoiling it, I mean, obviously we know something happens to Eeyore, but we never got to see the actual backstory of that. So I'm hoping they visit on that pretty soon, because obviously somebody had to survive if there was starvation. I mean, they did cover it in the opening, but I would actually like to see the actual, the flashback scene.
Oh right. Well, eating the meat. Oh no, I tend to. Oh, that would be quite gory, wouldn't it?
Oh,
No, well,
I mean, it's Pooh Blood. There's a guy with a flaming chainsaw in this movie.
Well,
it's beautiful.
Why not? When you can have one. I think the big difference, and it's no secret because it's in all the things. I mean, we see Tigger this time round.
Yes. I have him coming up too. I got all the cool characters they provided me, and I get to interview Tigger. But Owl is, like I said, I cannot wait to see the contrast between what we know, like you've explained, of the owl that I grew up with the owl that you're going to present. Man, it's going to be a good kind of discomfort.
Yes. Yeah, because I mean, because in the original books, Owl was very much a blowhard, and he used to sort of start talking about this, that, and the other, whilst knowing nothing about the subject, and it was that was the joke. But in this one, he's quite philosophical, I think. Yes.
Well, I can't wait to. That's what the last movie was missing. I mean, obviously we knew with the abandonment, it was basically about him being abandoned and what they turned into because of Christopher Robinson's abandonment. So here with your character, it sounds like there's going to be a lot more context than just the abandonment. There's a whole bunch of other issues that we're going to get on.
The story runs deep in this one, and it's sort of more than one situation, and it's almost as if you don't really know what's happening at the beginning, and the story reveals itself as it progresses. It's an entirely different beast, this one. Yes.
On the work you've done before, the level of violence, where does this match up with the previous work that you've made?
Right. Well, I think the level of violence in Pooh in Winnie 1 was the greatest violence that has been in any normal. I mean, in Bunny the Killer Thing, there was a lot of comedy violence. In Dinosaur Hotel 2, Dinosaur Hotel 3, Dinosaur Prison. Obviously, there are a lot of people being eaten by dinosaurs in various different ways. But this, it's violence because things are happening to people from other people. Or
animals, people,
animal people, if you like, and so it sort of brings it. I mean, I think when you see somebody being eaten by a dinosaur, you don't feel peril in quite the same way as if you see somebody doing something to somebody else.
Like putting a girl in a wood chipper. I brought this up with Eddie, and I'm like, what I loved about and like I said, by the way, the Sci-Fi Center nor the Jagged Edge film, no real animals or no real people were harmed in the making of these movies, and we don't condone anything in real life happening.
Yeah,
entertainment. When my face explodes with glee about the wood chipper thing. It's not because I'm against, I'm for violence against women. I am for the art of horror films. So don't come at me, people, with I can't believe you're such a horrible human being. I may be, but not for those reasons. But
absolutely. And she's a lovely girl, and we don't actually put her head first into a wood chipper.
Yeah, she's alive. It's like my dad used to tell me when I was a kid, when an animal would die in a movie, that they got 10 dogs, none of those dogs died. It's just, you're okay, stop crying. So that's what I tell everybody else. But yeah, this movie, the artistry and independent movies. I mean, we started with a very small budget with the first one, and because of the success of the first one, the budgets got bigger. And to me, this is a success story of just, getting what you can get together and making your movie, because you never know what's going to happen. I see so many people who don't do things because they don't have this, they don't have that. These guys took what they had and, in my opinion, made something of brilliance in the first movie. And the second one that looks, looks like, I mean, it literally expands on that in all the ways that I loved about the first one. So,
and it's important to remember that The Edge didn't come from nowhere. They have been making a lot of films for not particularly very many years, but a lot of films. So they know how to pick the right people, pick. Oh, I can hardly speak. Pick the people who work well in that environment. Fantastic DOP, fantastic lighting, fantastic sound mixing, and that didn't just fall out of the sky. That this has been a long road of discovery and finding the right people. So it's and I explained some of those films already. The Dinosaur Hotel lot and the Dinosaur Prison. And oh my goodness, there's so much. I think I've been in 14. So, and that's a fraction of the amount that have been made. So,
by the way, get people who are watching this interview, you in the description, I'm gonna have his IMDb, and you can start watching every one of Marcus's movies. Pick a starting point. But yeah, we'll have all that information, all this information in the descriptions, and this one will proceed with the trailer, because that trailer is awesome. The trailer for Pooh Blood and Honey, even if you hadn't seen the first one, and obviously I had, that trailer is awesome. That trailer is awesome. Tigger jumping out the tail action with Tigger. Like I said, and everything they have coming forward. I mean, they got Bambi coming. They're going to be working with Peter Pan. I mean, I'm just literally a card-carrying cult movie of Jagged Edge production, man. And like I said, when next time you talk to Scott and all those guys, you ask them, "Hey, William? Oh yeah, that guy. Oh, But yeah, but I enjoy it. Like I said, I'm a big Trauma fan. So
yes,
we've had Lloyd out here. We've done events with him out here, and like I said, to me, in a very different way, Jagged Edge reminds me of how Trauma does things, because Lloyd does the same thing. He gets the right people, he gets the right angles, he gets the right camera people. He just puts everything together and gets the most out of everybody that's available to him. So that's one of the things that attracted me to this production, the original 1 and 2, because I'm into those kind of movies. I grew up in the 80s. And for every mainline, Alien, the actual, Ridley Scott or James Cameron movies, there was like 20 or 30 ones that were like it, that were made for a quarter of the budget, that I just ate up. So when I see this kind of stuff in the modern era, it just warms my heart. So, hey, Marcus, thank you for making time for me today. I know we have an 8-hour time.
Very much. It's been absolutely terrific. And in fact, it's gone so quickly. I can hardly, I think it's only been about 5 minutes, hasn't it?
Nah, yeah, we're at 17, but I know it takes a lot to get you guys, because like I said, I'm in America, you're in London.
Yeah, well, no, that's fine. I don't want to bore people too much. I mean, I would love to carry on talking, and but there we go. It was very nice to meet you.
All right, very nice to meet you, and I can't wait to see you now.
I don't know whether I can think of any more owl puns I can put in. But
I have some, but they might get me in trouble. Like here in America, we have something called Woodsy Owl. It's like, give a hoot, don't pollute, please keep America looking good. That might get me in trouble. I'll edit it out if it does. But and obviously the Tootsie Pop. Hey, how many leaks does it take to get to the center? I got tons of them, man. We'd be here for another hour. But thank you for being here. Thank you for making yourself available. And I cannot wait to see you as Al on the big screen.
Absolute pleasure. You take care and goodbye.
Thank you.
See you soon.